So, it is a day that will go down in Korea's history. Just over 1 year ago, former President Park Geun-hye became the first leader in South Korean history to be impeached for her key role in a sprawling corruption and power abuse scandal that shook the country to its very core. And today, the court will hand down its verdict on Park's case. Our Park Hee-jun is standing by in front of the Seoul Central District Court, where it's all going to happen. So, Hee-jun, we still have a couple of hours to wait, but fill us in on what's happening over there.
Mark, there's tension both inside and outside the court as demonstrations are beginning to take shape just outside the entrance. The sentencing won't begin until later this afternoon, and Park Geun-hye has made it clear she isn't going to show. But more and more people are gathering as we get closer to the sentencing, and thousands more are expected to come later on. Many Park Geun-hye supporters have camped overnight, and they lined up placards across the streets demanding her release and even her reinstatement. Large-scale rallies will also take place not just in front of the courts, but also across the district. In case the demonstrations get violent, the police have mobilized around 4,000 men in the area, and entry to the court will be limited, especially through the main door.
So, for sure then, we're going to see large crowds throughout the day there, and we do hope that the protests remain peaceful. But in regards to today's hearing, what exactly is likely to happen to Park Geun-hye?
Well, Park Geun-hye faces 18 charges, including bribery, abuse of power, and leaking state secrets. If she's found guilty, if these charges are faced guilty, she'll be facing up to 30 years in jail pretty much for the rest of her life. And prosecutors demanded 30 years in prison and a fine of over $110 million for the former president. The court is likely to hand down a heavy sentence for Park, as it gave guilty verdicts to her accomplices, and many of their charges overlap with hers. In particular, 11 of Park's charges overlap with those of her confidant Choi Soon-sil, who was sentenced to 20 years in prison. For the first time in Korean history, the sentencing of a former president will be broadcast live, and Arirang News will also broadcast the sentencing, so our international viewers will be able to witness what becomes of the impeached president. Back to you, Mark.